Hi guys, welcome. It's Friday. Gratefully, I'm so glad it's Friday. Fridays, I feel like, are most people's favorite day, but for me, they're awesome because that means my weekend is here. I don't work on weekends. I have a day job, and so it's nice because that's when I get my break. I actually work 2 jobs, and my other job I work from home or kind of all over the place. So it's nice to finally get a break. It's Faithful Friday, which for those of you that don't know, kind of explain what I do. Every day I post a different video. I started a schedule actually this week, just earlier this week on Tuesday, and every day I do something different. So Fridays are called Faithful Fridays, and basically it's where I talk about kind of what's going on in my life, about my faith in particular, hence Faithful Fridays. But I talk about any lessons I've learned, or a study I found, or a book I found, stories I've heard, impressions I've gotten, things like that. Anything that has to do with my personal growth and my relationship with Jesus. So that's why we're here. And every day I talk about something different. So like tomorrow is Social Saturday, so it's usually about randomness, like whatever I want. Mondays is movies, Tuesdays is TV, Wednesdays is Wake Up Wednesday, so you get to see me in the morning putting on my makeup and all that fun stuff. And Thursdays is Trendy Thursdays, so we talk about all the great things or super trendy things, some stupid, some nice, that are trending on social media. And so today is Faithful Friday. So with that said, I'm gonna try not to be too long. I'm trying to keep my videos at a reasonable length, because I know I can get a little chatty. So, just to start, it's been an interesting week. I've had a pretty good week. Nothing bad has happened. Nothing like excellent has happened, but nothing bad has happened. So it's been a pretty average week, which I'll take any day. I apologize in advance if this video cuts out on me. The connection says it's weak, but hopefully we'll be good. What I'm really excited to share is that I actually found a book. It's a study. It's an online study. I don't know if you watched the video where I talked about First 5 Ministries and the Proverb 31 Ministries, which was created and kind of ran by this woman named Lisa TeKirst, and she's fantastic. And you'll see I share her Instagram thoughts and stuff all the time on my Instagram. If you see quotes on my Facebook, things like that. They're awesome. They're so great. And she's really insightful, and she's got a lot of wisdom. She's specifically like a women's study. But honestly, they pretty much apply to everybody. But this book I found is a new book she just wrote. It's actually a Bible study that you do online. You participate with all these other people online at the same time. And the name of the book is called Uninvited. And it is, basically it's all about, the title is Uninvited, Living Loved When You Feel Less Than, Left Out, and Lonely. For me, I don't know, for those of you that don't know, I tend to struggle with that a lot. Lately, this year in particular has been really rough in dealing with, depression and stuff in regards to these kind of, you're just constantly feeling like you're not included, or you're lonely, which is really the biggest part of it, or just less than, like you're never going to be good enough. And I feel like those are really, really common feelings amongst everyone, especially women. And so I was really excited to see this book because it's an encouragement. It's a study and encouragement to really delve into your worth, not your worth to yourself, because we're all our own worst critics, but your worth to God and Jesus, and your purpose and why you are here. And so each week, it's like a 6-week-long study that you can sign up for on their website. It's proverbs31.com, I believe, org. Proverbs 31 Ministries. If you Google that, it'll come up. But yeah, so that's what this book is basically about. I can read to you the little description if you want. Let me get it popped up here for you. So it says, this book, Uninvited, helps women to explore the roots of rejection, the lies we believe as we focus on what the enemy wants us to feel: rejected, left out, lonely, and less than. When we allow him to speak lies through our rejection, he pickpockets our purpose, cripples our courage, dismantles our dreams, and blinds us to the beauty of Christ's powerful love. I'm super excited to participate in this. When you purchase the book, they actually send you this free download printout thing that you can print out and like paste on your wall or on your mirror or somewhere you're going to see a lot, so you can constantly read it and remind yourself 10 biblical scriptural truths to, when you're struggling with those feelings. And like I said, I think a lot of people do. But these are 10 truths that she goes over in the book and that we're going to be studying. It starts in September. But I just ordered the book. I'm super excited. Hi, Olivia. So you know, because you just jumped in, I'm talking about a online Bible study and a book written by Lisa TeKurst. It's called Uninvited, Living Loved When You Feel Less Than, Left Out, and Lonely. It's by Lisa TeKurst. She's the same woman that does the First 5 ministries and the Proverbs 31 ministries. It's fantastic. Anyway, so like I said, when you buy the book, she gives you this printout of this 10 truths for when you are feeling all of those things. When you're struggling with loneliness or depression and you're feeling less than or left out. And you're supposed to hang it on your wall or put it somewhere you can read it often. And I'm just going to read these kind of quickly, but they're all backed by, there's tons of scriptures and stuff to explain your worth in God's eyes. But the first one is, there is an abundant need in this world for your exact brand of beautiful. Now that's a quote from her, but I just love it. She's got a lot of wisdom and she has all these great quotes she does every day. She does one every single day of the week with her First 5 ministries. And that is one of them. There is an abundant need in the world for your exact brand of beautiful. And that's really important to remember. If you're out there and you don't feel that, and you don't feel worthy, and you don't feel, there's a purpose. There's a reason you are the way you are. And you may not understand it. I don't understand my own, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have a purpose and a need, because you were created for a need. So I just would really encourage you to remember that. I'm only going to share a few of these because we'd be here all day, because I could talk about them all day. But this one is actually, it's a Bible verse. It says Zephaniah 3:17. The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by his love. He will exult over you with loud singing. Love, love, love that verse. I'm going to read it again. Yes, I will, Olivia. Zephaniah, the Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by his love. He will exult over you with loud singing. That's just such a cool picture. It's such a cool picture to know, when you're feeling like crap and all you can do is cry. For me, I'm super emotional, and so I'll just cry. I will find myself being completely honest, guys. I'm not even kidding here. I will just wake up and just be crying I don't necessarily, sometimes there's valid reasons, and sometimes it's, has nothing to do with anything. It's just stuff that Satan has fed into my head, and you have to fight that off. And this is a verse to help you with that. And I just love that, it's a reminder that he's in your midst. He's with you always, even when you feel so alone. There's always someone with you, always, which is so cool. And that he will save you. He will rejoice over you with gladness. So he celebrates, not only does he love you unconditionally, but he celebrates your existence. He parties for you. Jesus parties for you. How cool is that? The creator of the universe, who died on the cross for our sins, who has no reason to like any of us, who lived a perfect life, parties for you, rejoices in your existence. That's just, that's so cool. That's just so cool. I don't even know how else to say that. It's overwhelming. It really is, to think about And it's a nice, peaceful thought, because when you're struggling with those thoughts and you don't even know why, I've had that, like I would just wake up, or I went through a really rough time earlier this year and I was just depressed all the time. Like I would work and I would go home and I would just cry. And I don't even know why I'm crying. Like I legitimately was like, I don't even know why I'm upset. Or little stupid tiny things that are like nothing, all of a sudden were these huge, like emotional, life moving things. And that's not, because you start relying more on other people and your friends and your family to kind of fill that void versus relying on God. And it's easy for me in particular, it's really easy for me to do that because I have to, I'm an extrovert, so I like being around people. Thanks, you too. I like being around people. I get energy, I get filled from communicating and spending time with people, even if we're not talking, even if we're just like sitting in a room together watching a movie, I get filled from that. And so if there's a particular busy time in life when all my friends are busy and they're in school and they're working and they're married and they have to spend time with their spouses, like it's hard, because then all of a sudden you don't get to spend time with these people that you're so used to getting filled with, and then all of a sudden you're not being filled, and then it's like I don't even know what to do. You almost start to panic a little bit. And it's just hard because you feel like very lost and indifferent. And it's almost like you're so preoccupied with all of these different things that you don't even know what to do, because you can't. It's like, oh, I could watch TV, or oh, I could get up, or I could listen to music, or I could read a book, or I could do this. But you spend so much time doing that, trying to figure out what to do, that before you know it, days have gone by and you haven't done anything. And I think that's the downfall to this. That's why I'm really, really, really looking forward to this study. Just because I think it'll be super helpful, and I'm in a better place now, and I have wonderful friends and family and a support system that pray for me, and it's something that I constantly kind of deal with and have to put in its place. But these verses and these reminders are there to help me with that, which is awesome. Just so cool. She has another point. It's one of her quotes. It says, God's love isn't based on me. It's simply placed on me. And it's the place from which I should live, loved. So God doesn't love us based on what we do or who we are or how we act. He just loves us, period. Like unconditional, true love. There's no reason, there's no need, there's nothing we can do. You can't work for it, you can't earn it. It's just given. And that's the beauty of God in it. And that's in the place from which we should live. We should remember that we didn't ask for this. We don't deserve it. It's not like we're like, oh, I'm such a great person, I deserve eternity. And, we screw up all the time. I don't deserve that unconditional love. I don't deserve forgiveness for all of the horrible things I've done, for the mistakes I've made and the sin I've committed. And it happens, and you call it what it is. It's sin. It is what it is. And, you may not even realize it in the moment, and that's going to be something, you'll get convicted over. And I've done things before that I wasn't necessarily convicted over, and then later on I'm like, oh, and now I'm like, now I won't do certain things anymore because there's a new conviction over that. And I think God takes care of all of that. You'll know. You just know. And to say you don't means you're in denial, because you'll know right away if something should have happened, or if you did something wrong or said something wrong. And the fact that he forgives us despite all of that, and then not only for what we did, but then all the denial in what we did, like in the, oh no, I didn't do anything, I don't know what you're talking about, like even the fact that we just lied about it, like he forgives us for that, and we don't have to do anything. And that's what is so cool. So I just wanted to share a little bit. That's the study I'm doing. If you're interested in it, you can find it on their website. Like I said, it's Proverbs 31 Ministries. If you Google that, it'll take you directly to their website. I'll actually do it now so I can tell you exactly. Proverbs31.org. Like the word Proverbs and the number 31.org. And you can go there and you can actually see all of her. She's written books before, but you can see they have an online studies tab and you can click on it and there is a list. And the next one coming up is this Uninvited series. So if you're interested in that, or you have any questions, or you want to do it with me, or whatever, just comment on it, message me, and I'll be happy to help in any way I can, give you the info. I'm not an expert by any means, but, you know, all you can do is try and strive to grow, and that's what I do. With that said, that was really my big exciting moment of this week was my purchase. I finally got it in the mail. I was super excited. I heard a story that I really want to share because I think it's a perfect example of how we are supposed to treat people. And you can't get, it's a great motivator to keep yourself in check and treat people like Jesus would treat people, which is like our calling in life, is to be Jesus to other people. You can't get a more clear calling than that. And so this story, I'm going to paraphrase, obviously, but it is a true story. I'm not making it up. This did actually happen. There was a guy, he got off the subway. It took place in New York. And he got off the subway, and when he got off the subway, it was like late. And he got off and he was walking, and all of a sudden a teenager approached him with a knife, robbing him, basically mugging him, and said, "Hey, give me your wallet," and held him at knife point. And this guy, without hesitation, hands him his wallet, and the kid turns around to walk away, and he was like, "Hey, wait, if you're going to be robbing people all night, you'll probably need this." And he took off his coat and handed his coat to the kid. And the teenager was like so thrown by that, because I mean, who does that? Most people are like fight with them or tackle them or call for help or something. But this guy was just like, you know, who already gave him his wallet, was like, "Here, take my coat." And this kid was like, "What? Why?" And, you know, and he says, you know, well, obviously, if you're going to be mugging people all night at knife point, you're going to be cold, you're going to need it. I assume that if you need my money that bad, then you really need it. And the kid just kind of stood there, and he's like, "Well, I was on my way to get food anyway, it's fine." And he was like, "If you want to come with me, you're more than welcome." He invited, not only did he give the kid his wallet, he gave him his coat, and then he invited him to dinner. Who does that? Like, think about that. The next time somebody does something mean to you, and you turn around and you do something nice for them. And not just to do it, don't do it in a vindictive way, like, "Let me show you how good I am," but like, you do something nice for them because that's what Jesus would do. And then you turn around and you love on them some more. And so he went to continue the story, they went to this diner, and they ordered some food, and they're sitting there, and all these people in the diner recognize this guy. They're like, "Oh, hey, you know, how's it going? How's life? Whatever." And the kid was like, "Oh, you must like work here or something." And he's like, "No, I just eat here a lot. I'm just a regular." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And they just had like brief conversation, and they brought the ticket, the check, you know, and they bring the guy the check, and they hand him the check, and he's like, "Well, sorry, kid." He's like, "I pay for the check, but you have my wallet." He's like, "So you're going to have to pay for this one." And the kid pulls out his wallet and gives it back to him. And so the guy takes his wallet, pays for the check, gives the kid a 20, and says, "Do me a favor." And the kid was like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "Give me your knife." So the kid hands him his knife. He gave the kid a 20, and the kid walks out of the diner with a 20 and a coat and no weapon. That's smooth. Smooth talker right there. Like, how cool is that? To not, because it's a kid. Like, you could have very well ruined that kid's life. Could have gotten, he could have like tricked him, got him arrested, taken him to jail. You know, who knows what kind of situation he was in or what he needed that money for. You know, we don't know that. We can't predict that. You know, there's stereotypes out there, but we don't know. We're not God. We don't have the plan. We're only called to participate in it. And so the fact that that guy who was mugged at knife point gave his coat to this kid, gave his money to this kid, bought this kid dinner, gave him money anyway, and managed to get the weapon from him so he couldn't hurt anybody else, and let the kid go free and not have any consequences. I bet you that totally changed that kid's life. 100%. Because to actually have somebody who versus constantly being like, oh, you did this wrong, or you did this wrong, and like to actually have somebody take the time to just like sit and talk to them, and not like about how awful they are, but just have a conversation and find out about them, what they do, just a little bit about his life, sharing his existence in the world. I really think that's all people want, is they want a witness to their life in the world. That's why people get so lonely. That's why people want to get married. I heard that quote in a movie somewhere. I wish I could remember. What movie is that? Oh, Shall We Dance? Richard Gere, Susan Sarandon. But there's this movie, there's a scene in the movie where he asks, why do people get married? And she says, to witness. People don't get married because they love people. They get married to witness each other's lives. And so I think it was so cool for this guy to take the time to just witness and be a part of this kid's life, and versus getting him in trouble, showing him a little bit of love. And so I would really hope that that kid would think twice. And now, I mean, he's got a perfect example of Jesus and how to treat people, and he doesn't even know it. Like, it was a planting of the seed, but who knows what that kind gesture is going to do. It may make him do something nice for somebody else. It may make him, you never know the ripple effect. And I just really loved that story. And I was like, I wish more people today were like that. I really, really do. And so if you hear this and you have the opportunity, I would highly encourage you to use every opportunity you can to show some love to people. And not just people you know and your best friends, but just people, strangers. And love on them. Be a light in the world. It is so desperately needed right now in our crazy, crazy dark world. And so, that's my encouragement. Hope you liked my story. It's not really my story, it was somebody else's story, but it's true. If you're just joining, I don't know who's watching this, but if you're just joining, I'm sorry, I'm done. You're gonna have to rewatch it from the beginning. And I'll be on tomorrow to post something fun. I don't really know what yet. We'll see. Go with the flow, as I say. See you around.